faces you'd soon forget. Cast me a glance in the crowd, slip me a key, whispered come in, not knowing what it meant. I passed walls from where other men watched. Your charm traded like wine, but then you somehow held your guards back and led me right past where you had let them all in. Your castle is trembling now, my love, stone by stone and day by day. You hide behind the watchman's voice and swear it's meant to keep you safe. But I was just steps from your inner room when fear came whispering down the hall. You locked me out, you shut that gate, and kissed the ones who'll never see you at all. The others cheer beneath your windows. You feed them petals through the bars. You name them, tame them, sort them in rows. But they don't know who you really are. They think this maze is part of your dance. They never feel the imagined fear inside. But I dwelt in the chamber you never show, the one where your real self resides. Your castle is fading more, my love, though you fill the cracks with gold and grace. You built these walls to save your heart, but now they're crumbling from the weight. I was the one who never took from you, just bowed in grace when you let me through. But truth needs love, and this love's too bright for the shadows you cling to in your self-imposed night. How long can I wait by this courtyard gate while your guards rewrite what's true? How long can I ache for the look in your eyes that says I see you?
Slow start today.
Choose you. I want your games. You staged a lie. I want the inner you shakes in my arms at night. But if you let me out too many times, one day I'll walk away in quiet light. Your
Your
castle
castle
is
is crumbling now.
fast.
Crumbly fast. My bad.
I can't help if you refuse to see. You play with fire to save your heart, but now they're
Whoa.
I was the one who never took from you, just bowed in grace when you let me through. But truth means love, and this love's too bright for the shadows you cling to in your self-imposed night. How long can I wait by this courtyard gate while your guards rewrite what's true? How long can I ache for the look in your eyes that says I see you and I choose you?
Hey, Sergio. Welcome in, bro. I think you're the first one here besides me. Are you ready for some baseball? Heck yes. It's almost 5 in the morning. You know what that means? It's baseball time. Go Astros.
I don't want your games, you staged a light.
Man, I tried to go to sleep, but yesterday I was so burnt out. I don't know if it was because of the game or what, but I was so tired. Let me go ahead and stop this. I was so tired yesterday. I was doing some cleaning here at at home in my bedroom. Yes, Willard, the embarrassing loss yesterday. It was really embarrassing. I don't mind I don't mind them giving up so many runs because of the pitcher we had on the mound, he's doing his best right now. But that we couldn't score any runs, that was the embarrassing part. But I was doing a lot of cleaning yesterday in this room, and while I was doing the cleaning, I just felt really sleepy, and I thought, man, I need to take a nap. So I laid down and I slept for about an hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours. I really needed that. But for some reason, after that, I just began to slow down a lot. I didn't get so much done. And then last night, I did lay down to go to sleep around 11 o'clock, and I slept for roughly 2 hours. And after that, I couldn't sleep. So I've been up since about 1 or 1:30 in the morning. It's now 5. So I've been up for several hours. I did do a lot more work on the code last night, the API code. I'm still trying to get these silly base runners worked out. I mean, you guys can see we've got the base pads on the screen, and it looks cool. The layout's fine. There's nothing wrong with the layout, but just haven't been able to get the information to actually connect and show on the bases. So I have spent so much time, you guys have no idea. You have absolutely no idea. I guess this cup of coffee is going to be without creamer because my creamer is in the other room and I don't feel like getting up to go get it. I still have to set up a few other things here, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to just try to get all of my information on the screen set up. Fred is in the house too. Hello, Brandon, he says. Hopefully Astros have a better game today. They better. They better. I've been up for several hours now, and I spent a lot of time working on this ridiculous API. By the way, guys, they're showing Jake Meyers' current road trip statistics on screen. Do you have any idea what he's batting right now on the road? 417. Can you believe that? Jake Meyers is batting 417. If I were a squirrel, I'd say nuts. Or maybe I'd think it. I'd think, where are the nuts? Where are the nuts? Maybe if I were in the crazy house, I would also be thinking nuts. I hooked up my better camera. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I do have a webcam. I've been using, up until just yesterday, I've been using my laptop camera, which doesn't do any better than 720p. But a while back, I bought a 4K, finally broke down and bought a 4K webcam. The main reason I did that is because I started teaching English online. So I needed the better quality camera. The cool thing is that I can change the settings, so I can adjust it down a little bit to like, instead of a high frame rate with 4K, I can make it 1920 by 1080 with 30 frames per second. That way the data is not too high, but I'm running it through my software program, so it can also control it. But since this camera is so much better, I can turn off my overhead light, and then I can just turn on my accent lights, and I've got my lamp right here shining. It's actually not shining directly on me. You see the doors in the back, these sliding doors? These are called Fusuma. These are not shoji. Shoji, in case you didn't know, they just have the paper. Kind of you can just break with your finger. Kids love to do that. and then you have to take it all out and replace all of it. It's a big headache. But these doors right here, these are Fusuma doors, and they're meant for more insulation. You can't see the light through those doors. They don't allow in any light. They're a little more insulated. They're not heavy, but these white doors back here that you see, I've got more of them in front of me. All the way around this room are these sliding doors. So the lamp, I can actually shine the lamp on these doors and the light bounces back on me. It's kind of like a soft light. So it makes me look beautiful, don't you think? Don't I look beautiful? 5 minutes to game time. Yeah, we're almost there. Jeremy Pena is due up in just a few moments. Cross your fingers, guys. Again, once again, every single day, it's cross your fingers. You know, if I had the ability, maybe if there's like a free game that I can watch on MLB, I could set up the API to test out the base runners, because that game doesn't matter. If I'm watching some other game that's not the Astros, it gives me a couple of hours to try to work on the code and get it working correctly. But the problem with that is I have to change a lot of the code because I have to connect to the API for a different game that's not the Astros. But if I could figure out what the freaking problem is, if Mr. ChatGPT and I could figure out what the problem is, then I could put it in here. I could dump it into my API file for this game, for the Astros games going forward, and it'd be all good. But the problem is I can't work on it and troubleshoot it while the game is going on. Because if I do that, I can't do the live play-by-play. I'll just be distracted. It's redonkulous. Fred says, I'll be in H-Town next Sunday to catch the Cubbies annual trip from San Antonio. Oh, which game? Every series? Hey, old dog. Good to see you. Welcome to the game. Welcome to the Chizat. Looks like a sunny day in L.A. Check it out. Pena is DHing today. Second time in his life he's been the DH. Man, Astros have a crazy lineup today, guys. Jake Myers is batting second. Can you believe that? Second. Jake Myers is batting second. Altuve's at second base. Thank God. Batting third. And then Cam Smith batting fourth. Wow. Talk about changing it up. Christian Walker batting fifth. Caratini catching and batting sixth. Hummel in left field batting seventh. Dubon batting eighth at shortstop. Guillorme at third base. Man, the Astros. Man, Espada. It's like Espada decided, not only am I going to mix up the batting order, but I'm also going to like pull out some of my guys. What a strange lineup we've got going on today, guys. Sergio says using the GoPro is it's not a GoPro, it's actually a webcam, but it is a 4K webcam. The quality is so much better, right, than the laptop cam. My laptop cam is a POC. A piece of crap. Almost like we have the B team in. This might be the one that rocks it, though. If this lineup works, we might see more of it. We might see more of it, guys. 13 people following along right now. Thank you for being here. 12 likes already. That's nice before the game even starts. Pena is at the plate. Kyle Hendricks is on the mound. Every time I hear that name, I think of the old metalworking place in Mansfield, Louisiana called Hendricks. Right on the outside edge, the first pitch is in there for strike one. That was a fastball? Can you believe that? 85 mile per hour fastball? That's nuts. Here comes the next pitch from Hendricks, the 0-1. That's tapped back to the mound. 78 mile per hour changeup? Are you kidding me? Wow. That looked like a slow motion pitch. Pena tapped it right back to the pitcher. That was a very weak at bat, but at least he didn't strike out. Got to give him that. Fred says only next Sunday should be fun. Who's pitching that game? Is that the first game? Can't remember on the schedule which game that is. Myers is at the plate. 85 miles an hour taken for a strike. I think they said this is only the second time that Myers has batted second in the lineup. That's pretty crazy. Myers batting second. Well, wonders never cease. Another one right in there, 86 mile per hour sinker right in the zone. Why aren't the Astros swinging at the freaking pitches in the zone? Come on, guys. It's not small ball, it's slow ball. That's what it is. This is like a slow pitching machine. Come on, hit it. Myers grounds it to Pena. To Pena. I'm thinking shortstop Pena. What's wrong with me? He grounds it to short. And he is thrown out for out number 2. So 2 ground outs. 1 tapper to the pitcher. And 1 to the shortstop. This is looking like a Little League game, is it not? This crowd is like totally empty. But at least my hero is in the game, batting third and at second base. I'm happy with that. Here comes the first pitch to him. Crank it out. Well, it's outside. Ball 1. All right, you can take that one. 1-0. Charles says, hope the Astros play stellar today. Me too. Here comes the 1-0. 87 on the outside edge. The sinker. The stinker. The stanker. Fred says Pena might forget he is the DH and run onto the field after the third out. He probably will. DeBon will have to remind him. Here comes the 1-1. A little tapper to the short. Might be a little trouble. He doesn't throw it. Check it out. Altuve has another infield hit. How many of those does Altuve have, guys? Infield singles? He's like a master of that, isn't he? Just a little tapper. He didn't even throw it. Yeah, he was like, nah. All right, we have a 2-out base runner. Most career hits. Altuve's just 4 behind Bagwell. Look at this. Cam Smith goes after the first pitch, hits it into right field. We have runners on first and second. All right, now we're cooking with gas. Cam Smith's got it going on. He's like, this dude is a slow pitcher, man. I can hit that. Very first pitch right down the middle. Boom, opposite field. Yeah. That's all that Pena and Myers had to do, but they didn't read the script. Christian Walker comes to the plate with 2 on, 2 outs. Come on now, let's spank them. Here's a pitch. Walker hits that out in the left or center field? Center field. He comes in and grabs it on the run. That's out number 3. Astros look like they can destroy this guy. I don't quite understand why Myers and Pena couldn't put that ball in the air. Pretty redonkulous. Pretty redonkulous. I guess my base runners aren't working, but I'm not surprised. Why is it that I can get everything else to work? Everything else has been so I don't want to say just easy, but doable. Easy or doable. But for some reason, the base runners, it's such a simple thing. It pulls the information, the current base runner on each base. It pulls the information. All it has to do is display it on the screen. It's not a big thing to ask, but for some reason, it just can't do it. The end of the top of the first. The Astros with 2 hits already, but no runs. Ryan Gusto is on the mound for the Astros, and he'll be up there in just a moment facing Luis Ringafo. For some reason, Ringafo is leading off. It looks like the Angels have messed around with their lineup, too. Juan says, is Greg Maddux pitching today for the Cards? Huh? I don't know anything about the Cards. Don't care about the Cards. Don't know. Old Dog says, of course, with 2 outs. Yes, of course. Best chance we had, and unfortunately we didn't get anything. Sergio says the early start should produce better results today. I certainly hope so. And the weather looks nice. Gusto just took his last warm-up toss. Let's see if he's going to be a tosser today. Is he going to be a tosser in American terms or a tosser in is it British or Australian? He uses the term tosser. I can't remember. Ring Evo, first pitch on the way. He hits that one out to left field. Hummel's underneath it, puts it away. That's easy. 1 pitch, 1 out. 18 people following along. Make sure you like that live stream. By the way, I know that almost half of the people listening in are not subscribers. If you're going to hang around and listen and you're interested in the Astros, do subscribe. I would very much appreciate that. Thank you in advance. Sean Noel is at the plate. Here comes the first pitch from Gusto. Right in there, in the bottom of the zone, 91 miles an hour. Strike 1. 0-1. Here comes the next toss. That one's hit hard to right field, but right at Cam Smith, who puts it away. All right. 3 pitches, 2 outs. Daniel Berry Sports, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Old Dog says UK. I thought it was UK, but I have a few Australian friends too, so sometimes I get confused. I hear so many different ways of speaking. It looks like Mike Trout is at the plate. Let's go fishing. He just takes that one. Looks like he wasn't even going to swing at that first pitch. Gusto throws it right in there. What in the world? Why is my 500 thing up there? There we go. Get rid of that. Here comes the next pitch. Too far inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, as bad as Walter had it yesterday, Walters, he did have a good time fishing, just so you know. Here comes a 1-1. Fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mr. Trout. Sergio says with the Tigers and the Stankies winning their games, the Astros need to win to keep pace. Yeah, Sergio, because I was awake, I actually followed the Stankies and the Oriole game. Here's a pitch. There we go. Strike 3. Nice high fastball. Foul tip into the glove of the Batman Caratini. Gusto has himself a nice bottom of the first. 0-0. 2 hits for the Astros and goose eggs. Nothing but goose eggs for the fallen angels. Speaking of the Batman, he is due up for the Astros. Victor Caratini is due up in the next inning in the top of the second. Cooper Hummel is following after that, and then Mauricio Dubon. Seattle winning, Texas losing. Let's go Stros. I agree. Or as my Chinese friend says, I agree. I could have sworn that earlier I heard somebody walking in here. Well, I have a raccoon dog. It's called a tanuki, Japan's raccoon. Sometimes it gets into the roof of my house up here. My house is a special house. It's around 200 years old, and the original roof is still there. It's made of grass, and they retrofitted the top of that with metal, and it has an overhang, an eave, right? And there's metal underneath that eave, and sometimes you can hear the tanuki up in there. He gets up in there, and you can hear him walking on the metal. But for some reason, it sounded like he was on my porch, which is called the Ingawa. But I don't know how he got in there, considering how he could get in there, considering how it's enclosed. So it sounded like a person was in there. Caratini's at the plate, takes that first pitch right in there. What is with the Astros taking these pitches right in the zone at 85 miles an hour? An 85 mile per hour, quote, fast ball, guys. This is like not even high school speed, right? Here's the pitch. Hey, ripped into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Nice. Another single for the Stros, this time with no outs. Good job, Mr. Batman. Good job, Mr. Batman. The Batman comes through. That's what I'm talking about. And that's in there for a strike against Cooper Hummel. Next pitch is on the way. Okay. Swing and a miss. 79 miles an hour, swing and a miss. I swear, right now they are batting against a high school pitcher. Yeah, more likes would be nice, but we don't have many viewers, just 15. Wow. Look at that, a swing and a miss by Hummel. 3 straight pitches. Send him back to wherever he came from. I have not been impressed with Hummel. Bring in somebody else, give him a try. Next pitch is on the way, and that would be Mauricio Dubon. Doesn't get any part of the plate. Ball 1, 1-0. Here comes the next pitch to Dubon. Doobie fouls it off, the mask of the catcher. 86 mile per hour sinker. Stinker. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on first. This is opposite field, off into the crowd. Strike 2, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Come on, Doobie. 79 mile per hour changeup. Foul tip. Terrible, right? 2 outs. That brings up Chef Guillorme. Astros trying to waste that leadoff base hit. 3 hits. Nary a run on the board. 1-0 to Guillorme. Here comes the next pitch. He goes after that one, but touches nothing but air. 1-1 is the count. Old Dog says, wearing shades when at bat, I'd be nervous of getting beaned. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's rocketed on the right side, but right at the second baseman, who goes over to the shortstop for out number 3. Nothing comes of Caratini's leadoff single. The Astros have 3 hits already and no runs. 0-0 going into the bottom of the second. Man, what a low count. I guess it's because it's a weekend afternoon game. People are doing other things. I forget about that sometimes. The weekend games, especially the afternoon weekend games, they tend to not do so well, I believe. Could have just slept. I could have gone to sleep. But no, I can't do that. I would be. I would feel bad if I didn't call the game. Willard Wright says, explains something. Back at trade deadline, Crane tried to trade for Robert Jr. and almost got him, but yet now Astros can get him for cheap and don't. It's stupid. You put Robert Jr. in Springer role, he would go off. Louis Robert Jr.? I'm not really sure. If they had the opportunity to get him and they wanted him but didn't get him, but now they can get him for cheaper, it is a good question. I don't know what their mentality would be for that. I mean, I'm not in their heads, so I can only guess. But I guess it would be a good question to get an answer to. Sergio says, send Cooper Hummel back down in favor of Bryce Matthews. Yeah, I am with you on that one. Cooper Hummel just looking pretty poor. Pretty poor. Old Dog says a waste of mediocre pitcher to unload against. Strohs, come on, guys. You're right. You're absolutely right. This pitcher is throwing at like a high school level. And I don't even mean a good high school pitcher. Good high school pitchers can throw 90, 93. His fastballs are like low 80s, mid 80s maybe. Gusto is back on the mound. First pitch is in the dirt. Speaking of Gusto, when this game is over, I might drive to Gusto Cafe and have breakfast there. Treat myself. Then come back home and sleep. Here's the next pitch, right on the edge of the plate, the outside edge. 92-mile-per-hour pitch, 1-1. Taylor Ward is the batter. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ooh, yes, good job. Gusto gets the bottom of the plate right there for strike 2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Check swing by Gordon. Gordon. By Ward. By Warden. He doesn't go, so it's ball 2. 2-2. Old Dog says better ump today. Yeah, it seems like it so far. Couple of innings almost, and no big issues. Next pitch is grounded to Dubon. He fires over to first. And there we go. One away. Juan says Grad Maddox pitching for Angels. $88-mile-per-hour fastball. I don't think I've seen anything faster than 88 from their current one. Ohape's at the plate. He grounds it on the very first pitch to third base to Chef Guillorme, who fries it up and sends it over to first base for out number 2. 20 people following along. Welcome in. It's kind of a quiet day today. The game seems to be cruising along pretty quickly, too. Joe Adele is at the plate with 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch from Gusto. He fouls it off. Breaks his bat. Gonna take a little stroll over to the dugout. It's amazing how much time these guys take to replace their bats sometimes. I saw one player take a really slow stroll all the way over to the dugout, walk down into the dugout, all the way to the end of the dugout, look through a couple of bats, get what he wanted, and then slowly walk all the way back to the plate. It was ridiculous. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Just below the zone. 1-1. The sinker misses. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Right in there. He hits this one way up in the air. Is that going to be playable? No. It sails into the crowd. But it is strike two. Less than 10 rows back. Guillorme's cooking utensils can't reach that far. Was that Slow-Mo Joe? Slow-Mo Joe Adele. Slow-Mo Joe. Guys, at 4 o'clock this morning, as soon as the sun just barely started coming up, I took a shower outside. It was pretty nice. Swing and a miss. Look at that. Gusto, 95 mile per hour fastball up in the zone. 2 strikeouts so far for Mr. Ryan Gusto. Nice. No hits through 2 innings. Man, we could have used this pitching yesterday, huh? But yeah, I woke up around 1:30 maybe, and I just didn't feel like sleeping anymore. I got up and I sat in my chair for a few minutes because I really didn't know what to do with myself. I wasn't for sure what to do. And I thought, well, I can do a few things on the computer, mess with the layout a little bit. So I did that. Prepared a couple more live streams, made some thumbnails. After I finished that, I decided, you know what, around 4 a.m., a little after 4 a.m., you can start seeing a little bit of the sun coming up over the forest out there, over the little mountain. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a shower. It's been raining here off and on all night, and earlier the rain started coming down really hard. And I was literally outside taking a shower as the sky is, slowly turning blue, right? As the sun is barely coming up. You can see the clouds because it was raining coming down really hard. It's nice. You can hear the frogs out there, some of the birds. It was really cool. If you guys have never taken a shower like that outside with nature, I highly recommend it. If you visit here, you can have a try. We don't have time to mess around after this series. We got the Phillies coming up. Pena is back at the plate, takes the first pitch for ball 1. There comes the 1-0 pitch. Low and outside, ball 2. Come on, Flash. Get on base. Ryan doing great thus far. Agreed. Looking pretty good. Hendricks, 2-0 delivery. Right at the bottom of the zone. This umpire is right on so far. That's a fair call. 2 balls and 1 strike. Funny old dog. Here's the next pitch, 2-1. Pena goes out into right field. Is it going to be trouble? Could be. Shawnuel can't get it. Right fielder comes in and gets it. Lucky. I won't say that was a good catch because it looked like Wade had it all the way. If the first baseman had made that catch, I would have thought, wow, amazing. But it was really easy for the right fielder. He had it the whole time. He was tracking it the whole time. See, look at this. Easy. Yeah. Not a difficult catch. Old dog says, poll, are the Astros this good or is everyone else this bad? Jake Myers is in. That first pitch is way high for ball 1. One away in the top of the third. This game is just cruising by so far. Here comes the 1-0. Almost nicked him on the inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Starting him off just like Pena with 2 balls. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. In the zone, Myers goes after it and fouls it off. The changeup. Sergio says, in that game where the batter took his time getting a different bat, I liked how the umpire took it personally and ditched him out some well-deserved karma. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. You were there for that. You've been there for almost every game, I think. You've been seeing all of this nonsense, right? Myers fouls it off at the plate for strike 2, and the count is even. 30 pitches now for Hendricks. Real sunny out there today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. This is grounded up the middle. Diving stop. Fires it over to first, but Jake has got that one. Another infield hit. 4 hits now for the Astros. 1 out base runner. Jake the Rake. Oh man, look at that. A Jose Altuve Silver Slugger bobblehead. Oh man. That's on Saturday. If only I could get a flight from Hiroshima to get over there and get one of those. Here's the first pitch to Altuve. He goes after it and hits out in the center field, and that's going to be a diving catch for out number 2. Jake Myers goes back to first base, so Altuve flies out in the first pitch. 2 away. Yeah, we do need Jordan back, Sweet Richard, and welcome in, by the way. Cam Smith is at the plate. He has a single today. Hendricks goes over to first base, but Myers is back. Right now, somebody should be on first base right on the screen right there. But there's nobody. So it's still not working. ChatGPT, you're killing me. Runner goes. He throws it from his knees. Wide. 12 stolen bases for Jake Myers. Most of his career. He's having a stellar year, isn't he? Myers is turning into Mr. Baseball all around, isn't he? Defense, offense, stealing. He's doing it all. Bounced at the plate. Is Cam going to beat it out? No. Second baseman gets on it. Pitcher can't get to it, but the second baseman throws him out. If that had been on the left side of the field, he probably would have beat it out. But that's out number 3. So the Astros strand another runner. 4 hits for the Astros. Is this what we're going to do the whole game? Just get 1 or 2 hits each inning and not score anything? I'll tell you what, the Astros are missing their window of opportunity with this pitcher. This pitcher is not the kind of guy. It kind of reminds me of like an advanced position player. That's kind of what he's pitching like from my perspective. That's what it looks like. The Astros should be tearing him up. Tearing him up. Man, that rain outside. It's coming down hard again. It is coming down hard. Hard. Ryan Gusto is due back up in just a moment. Bottom of the third. Nice pitch count. Only 17 pitches needed to get through the first and the second. He's going to be facing Lamont Wade Jr., Kevin Newman, and Christian Moore. but not at the same time. How about some coffee? If this game ends too quickly, then I won't be able to go straight to the cafe. I don't know why, but this one particular cafe that I like, the one closest to me, it doesn't open till 9 for breakfast. But all of the others in all of Japan are either 7 or 8 in the morning. I've never seen another one open at 9. This one opens at 9. All right, here's the first pitch from Gusto, right in there, 78 mile per hour curve. Oh and 1. The 0-1 pitch on the way. This one's hit up the middle. Is it going to drop? Yes, it is, and that's the first hit. No hitter for Ryan Gusto. Wade Jr. with the single up the middle. Base runner on. Lead off runner for the Angles. Wow, the Astros are in the top 6 most innings pitched by rookies this year. How in the world do they do it? Here's the pitch. That's a line drive to Guillorme. He goes to first after that. That's close. Wow. That was a rocket hit by Kevin Newman straight to Guillorme. He quickly went to first to Walker, but the runner just barely got back in time. They're not going to challenge it, so runner remains on first with 1 out. And that brings up Christian Moore. Christian Moore or less. High, ball 1. Fred says LSU leading 5-1 in the 5th inning. Thanks for the update. I appreciate that. I completely forgot to open that up and follow it. It's nice to hear. That's right in there. Strike 1. Ball 1, strike 1 to Christian Moore. 1-1 with a runner on first and 1 out. Lots of ones going on right now. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Surely he did. Yes, he did. Strike 2. 1-2. Go Astros. 1. Yes. Thank you for being here. Today's the day to win. Yes, that's right. In Ward, they say today's a good day to die, but here, today's a good day to win. Here's a 1-2. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Gusto. He put some mucho gusto on that. Mucho gusto. 4-seam fastball. High and outside. Look at this. Whip. 95. Got him to go. Couldn't get the wood on it. No tree on cow action there. 2 away. 26 people following along. It's creeping up a little bit. Left-hander at the plate. Louis Ringfo, the leadoff batter for the Angels. High and outside for ball 1. 1 fly out today for this dude. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. High and outside, ball 2. Haven't seen many balls from Ryan Gusto. Sweet Richard says, what percentage of major league fields have natural grass? I'm not sure about that. I'm sure that I could find out. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. High and outside again on that changeup. 3-0. Haven't seen a 3-0 at all today. The next pitch is in there for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike to Ringfo. 2 outs, runner on first. I'm going to ask ChatGPT that one. Here comes the pitch. Chopper to second. Altuve grabs it, fires to Walker, out number 3. All right. 1 hit, their first hit. But Gusto shuts it down. No big deal. 3 solid innings from Gusto so far. This game is tied 0-0. 4 hits for the Astros, 1 hit for the Angels. ChatGPT says 24, old dog. You said 28. It says 24 of the 30 are surfaced with natural grass, and the other 6 have modern artificial turf systems. Slight discrepancy there. So who do I trust, old dog or ChatGPT? Do I trust old dog GPT or ChatGPT? Sergio says, for Myers, this is a contract year. They extended him only for the 2025 season at $2.3 million, which is a bargain for the way he's playing so far. I agree. I kind of feel like Myers is one of those kind of players where if he's doing well through the whole season, defense, offense, base stealing, if he's doing well all around and you give him more money, he's not going to get lazy. I don't see Myers as that type of player. I'd be comfortable giving him just a little bit more. He's earning it. If he holds through all the way through the playoffs, why not? Why not? One says 83.3% grass, 25 out of 30 fields. We have another number. So we have 24, 25, and 28. First pitch to Walker. Misses for ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. That could have gone either way, but a little high. Ball 2. Walker flew out his last at bat. Let's see if he can turn that around right here. Fouls it back. Strike 1, 2-1. Sergio says that Myers is only 29. They should extend his contract or deal him. Walker hits this out to center field, but Adele's easily able to get over and grab it. 1 away. Extend his contract or deal him before the trade deadline when his stock is high. Victor Caratini comes to the plate. He has himself a nice rip single so far today. Old dog says ChatGPT. I was thinking from a few years ago. Here comes the pitch. He goes after the first one and lines it out to, or that's more of a pop, to the center fielder. That guy's making all the plays out in center field today. 2 away. Easy inning so far for Hendricks. Astros are easily able to get the bat on this ball from this pitcher. And yet, here we are. 4 hits and no runs in the top of the 4th. 2 outs. Hummel is at the plate with his sunglasses on. Oh, man. Vampiro says, can you show more of the game? What do you mean? You mean longer clips? If that's what you're asking, then no. Absolutely not. You guys are lucky that I'm showing what I'm showing. It took me a while to get this set up. 1-1 strike to Hummel. Here's the next toss. Foul tip. Or more of a check swing foul. Strike 2. 2 outs, nobody on. 1-2 strikes to Hummel. If I show more than about 4 seconds of the game, I get a copyright claim. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Hit high in the air. Could be playable by the third baseman, and it is in foul territory. He's got it. Out number 3. Hummel strikes out on 3 pitches, then he fouls out. Go home, man. Go back to the minors or wherever you came from. Go back. We are already in the bottom of the 4th, guys. This game is just... Is it going by fast for all of you? It seems to be just cruising by. To me. It's just my feeling. It's like it'll be over in less than 2 hours. You know, there are different responses and penalties and things for showing the game on YouTube. For example, if you show more than about 4 or 5 seconds, MLB will do a copyright claim, and it doesn't hurt my channel, but if that video ever gets monetized, or if it is monetized, any money made will go to MLB. So I just cut those little clips out. If I get a copyright claim, I clip them out because I don't want MLB to have the rights to my video, my whole video, just because of these little clips. Sometimes it's just one little 5-second clip, but they'll get advertisement for the whole video. How is that fair? But that's the way it works. If you get really long clips, you can get a copyright strike. And you get 3 of those, they take down your channel. If I just let the game go and I just live stream it, YouTube will pull it down 100%. They'll take the live stream down. So there's a line that you just can't cross. And MLB is pretty strict. Gusto's back on the mound facing Nolan Chanel. That one is in there for strike 1. Yeah, Myers could definitely receive some offers. This next pitch is hit high into left field, opposite field. Hummel is over, and he makes the play. 1 away. John says, considering they gave him so many chances, he should go for a team-friendly contract. I'm not so sure that Myers was just given chances as much as they just needed him. First pitch to Mike Trout is in there. A nice curveball for strike 1. It's fishing time, baby. Let's go fishing again. Struck him out last at bat. Here's the next pitch. Just barely below the zone. Ball 1, 1-1. Vampiro says maybe on Rumble. I don't know about that. I'm really not interested in live streaming the whole game or huge portions of the game. It's fouled off. If you're that interested in watching the complete game, you should just buy an MLB subscription. That's what I have to do. I have to pay for it. Why don't you pay for it? If you want to watch the whole game. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 1-2. 96 mile per hour fastball there. Whoops. I feel like Myers was an a necessary guy to keep around. Look at that, a half swing strikeout. Another strikeout for Gusto, and this time it's Trout again. Gone fishing. Look at this. He's like, oh no. Gone fishing. 2 outs, no runners on. Taylor Ward at the plate. Here's the pitch. That was not a bad pitch up and in, but called a ball. The violent framing by Caratini probably didn't help. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Ward goes after that one, fouls it off on the right side. 1-1 is the count. One ball, one strike, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Ward hits that one into left field. That's going to be at least a single. He takes the turn and head to second. Is he going to get there? Hummel throws it in there, and they're going to call him safe. That was really close. Hummel didn't hustle over. Didn't look like he hustled over like he could have when that ball went out there. Yeah, they said he hustled over, but I'm not so sure about that. He makes it into second. The throw was not bad. It was okay. Logan O'Hoppy's at the plate. Second hit of the game for the Angels. That first pitch is a strike. 0-1. Here comes the next toss from Gusto. Oh no, that looks like it's going to be gone. Just over the fence in left field. He rips it. O'Hoppy with a home run. Very low left field wall, and he line drived it out of there. Reminds me of those Jeremy Pena line drive home runs. It's 2-0. Gusto has been cruising along with 2 outs. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. He gives up a 2-run homer. You just hurt my heart, Gusto. And the Angels put their ridiculous fireman's helmet on. Look how close that was, just barely over that wall. 2-0. Here's the pitch. Strike one to Joe Adele. No runners on, 2 outs. Bad news, 2-run homer. Good news, no one on base. 94 mile per hour on the outside edge, swing and miss by Adele. 0-2 is the count. Sergio says that was actually a good defensive play by Cooper Hummel. I think it was just acceptable. I don't think there was anything really good about it. I think it was a basic play. But when I looked at it, I felt like he could have hustled over just a little faster to try to keep that double from happening. Fouled off. Well, a 2-run homer. I mean, it's 2-0. I wouldn't call that a deflator. If we were down by 2 and then it was like a grand slam, I'd call that a deflator. Here's the next pitch, low and outside. 1-2. That home run was just a disappointment. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Bounces harmlessly down the third base side. Count remains 1-2. Ayush, do you have anything positive to say today, or are you just going to dump a bunch of negative comments again? Please say something positive today. Get on the right side of the fence. This is hit high in the air. Is it going to be playable? Walker is over, but it's behind the dugout. Count remains 1-2. Old Dog says, how can they score against a good pitching effort versus us against a so-so? It's a good question. Astros have been, they still have more hits, 4-3 in the hit category right now. 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Outside, the fastball missing. The count is now even, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Hit high in the air again and fouled off behind the plate. Speaking of negative comments, Crispy, you're giving up after the Astros give up a 2-run homer? It's 2-0. Are you serious? Come on. What is with you guys? So negative. Here's the pitch. Strike 3. Nice. Another K for Gusto. Swing and a miss. Dubon is due up in just a moment, followed by Guillorme and Pena. So we got the last couple guys in the bottom of the batting order, followed by the top of the batting order. Let's see if we can get something going here in the top of the 5th. We're almost halfway through the game already. Just an hour in. The game can't be over if it's not even halfway finished. 2-0. Gusto is not having a bad game. He had 1 bad pitch in 4 innings. But Gusto's pitch count is not high. He could actually finish 7 innings. If Gusto gives up just 2 runs in 7 innings, what an amazing outing that would be. Sweet Richard says moderators are creepy. Really? I don't know. I think that having some moderators is very helpful, especially as the channel grows, because there are so many things. If you guys have never live streamed, and I don't mean just live streamed in general, I'm talking about where you're trying to tell the viewers, tell the listeners what's happening. You're looking at it and you're trying to tell them moment by moment what's happening and what's going on. Plus, you have technical things to do with the computer and all of that, and click this, click that. Plus, you have other things like got to run to the bathroom, got to get something to drink, got to blow your nose, got to cough, whatever. You have all these things going on at the same time, but then on top of that, live chat that I want to give some attention to. So having a moderator is very helpful. First pitch to Dubon is in there for strike 1. Moderators are invaluable to do a lot of stuff that I can't do because it's just too distracting. Outside, ball 1-1. Like I said, especially as the channel grows, if there are thousands of subscribers and thousands of people coming in, I can't possibly respond to all of that. A few inches outside, good take by Doobie. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sergio. This is hit really hard to left field. It's all the way back to the wall. It's close to the wall. It's gone. Hey, look at that. Doobie with a homer. Doobie continues his relentless home run streak. He has been on a tear recently. How about that? Cuts into that lead. 2-1 Astros. 2-1 Astros. Where is that? There we go. Boom. That doesn't look like Dubon at all, though. Oh, my gosh. All right. Chef Guillorme is at the plate. 0-1 now after that take. Here comes the next pitch from Hendricks. Woo, on the inside corner. Guillorme still not swinging the bat. Dude, you got to swing that bat. You're looking a little fat. You got to swing that bat, Mr. Fat. Here comes the 0-2. He finally does swing it on an outside pitch. Grounds out to the second baseman. A little tapper. There's Doobie's homer again. Inside sinker, 87 miles an hour. That's the way the Astros should be hitting this guy. We should have like 5 home runs already. If Dubon can do it, anybody can do it. Not that he's a bad hitter, he just doesn't have a lot of power. Pena's at the plate, takes the first pitch for a strike. 88 miles an hour right in the middle of the plate. Come on, Flash. 1 away. Jake Myers on deck. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard to left field. It might be gone. He gets into it. Left center field. It is. It's up onto the rocks. I knew it. I told you guys they can do it. 11 home runs for Pena this year, and we're tied. Take that, all you guys who are already giving up on the game. I'll never understand giving up on the Astros so early. There we go. 2-2. The game is tied. 6 hits for the Astros now. 3 hits for the Fallen Angels. And that brings up Jake the Rake. Here's the pitch. Ooh. Outside edge. Strike 1. Crispy says, what is something positive about our offense? How about 2 home runs in this inning? How about that? Here's the pitch. Myers goes through. He says, eat that, Crispy. What's something positive about our offense? How about 7 hits this game, 3 in this inning, 2 of those home runs? How about that? How about this? Jake the Rake. No, that's Jeremy Pena's homer. Too many hits this inning. I can't even keep up with them. Up onto the rocks. In Anaheim. The Anaheim Rocks. Now they got a little meeting on the mound to discuss how there's not a single positive thing going on with the Astros offense right now. Never gave up. I was just being sarcastic. My thing is, negativity is not only completely useless, but it's actually worse than that. It's counterproductive. So it doesn't help you. It doesn't help your mindset. It doesn't help the Astros. It doesn't help anybody. It actually hurts you and hurts everybody else. So let's just not be negative. Well, look at that. Altuve loses his helmet on that pop-up over to first. Out number 2. Man, his helmet came right off when he swung the bat. I'm not sure what happened there. 2 away. Myers stays on first base. Cam Smith comes to the plate. Has 1 single so far today. Hit another one. Jack it out. Here's a pitch. Crank it up, Cam. A little high. Ball 1, up and in. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Cam. Myers is trying to steal again. Is he in there? Yes, he is. The ball scoots away. How about that? Myers with another steal today. Ball 1. That was actually called a strike. 1-1 is the count to Cam Smith. Look at this. Look how close it was. He was safe, but the Ball came out. He was already there, though. Good steal by Myers. Pitcher comes off the mound, fakes a throw to second. We have a runner in scoring position. Come on, Cam, crank it up. Let's get another run and take the lead. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball on the left side. It gets through. Myers is going to be waved around. The Astros are going to grab that lead right now. Cam Smith with a rocket that the third baseman just couldn't handle. Ringfo. Ah, yeah, they say that that's going to be probably an error. Looks like it. We'll see. Myers can walk home on that one. 3-2 Astros. Christian Walker back up at the plate. Takes that first pitch for ball one. Astros cooking. Cam Smith on first base with 2 outs. 1-0 count to Christian Walker. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Sweet Richard says, how many seconds does it take for a runner to steal second base? Depends on the runner. Whoops. I left that up there for way too long. Fouled back by Christian Walker. 2 balls and 1 strike. Astros are leading the MLB in scoring with 2 outs. Around 54%. That was the last time I looked at it. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Walker fouls that back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 87 mile per hour fastball. 87. That's a very funny MLB fastball, is it not? Yeah, be careful, Ayush. You'll get Sergio upset. He likes Christian Walker. He has high hopes for him. Here's a pitch. Hey, there we go. Speaking of Sergio and Christian Walker, Smith is going to be waved around. Look at that. That's all the way out to the wall. Cam Smith is going to score from first base. There you go, Sergio. There's your man. There's your man, Christian Walker, with the RBI double. Astros now up 4-2. 4 runs this inning. That was a perfect hit right in the gap, opposite field. All the way to the wall, and Cam Smith burns around the bases. Just turns on the afterburners. Boom. Slid in for no reason, just being cool. The Batman Caratini comes to the plate with a runner on second. He does have himself a hit already. He has a rip, his first at bat. 8 hits now for the Astros already in this game. Angels look like they have somebody up in the bullpen now, about to start warming up. They're about to give up on Hendricks. 64 pitches for Hendricks. Here comes the 65th to the Batman. Hey, opposite field. Is it going to get down? No. Good try. Good try. A couple of home runs by Doobie and Pena. A couple of base hits. A couple of runs scored. How about that? 4 runs in the 5th. Do I have to say I told you so? That's the thing about baseball. One day things can suck so bad and it seems just ridiculous, right? It seems ridiculous. And yesterday it really did. I've said this already and I'll say it again. I wasn't really upset about the pitching performance yesterday. We got a newbie in there who's trying his best. You know, it is what it is. And there's some bad luck also in the game. Can't complain about the runs that were given up. The hitting yesterday was really bad for the Astros. That was the problem. If the Astros had lost 9-5, I wouldn't have cared so much. But that they lost 9-1, that's to me ridiculous. But sometimes it happens. Today, suddenly they score 4 runs in the 5th inning. You just got to be positive and hang in there. Sometimes it's sunny and awesome. Sometimes it's not. Power of positivity, Crispy, absolutely. But not just thinking, but really believe in it. Feel. It's how you feel. The way that Caratini is batting, though, putting the bat on the ball, I wouldn't doubt if he hit a homer today. So you could be right. Sergio says, just when the fans are hopping off of the bandwagon, they reel you back in. Yep. Gusto's back on the mound. 50 pitches. Next one is on the way in the top of the zone for strike 1. Nice toss. Right in the very top of the zone. Lamont Wade Jr. at the plate. Next pitch just missing outside. My API taking a minute to update there. Just in case you guys are wondering, the API that updates on the screen, it's automatic. I don't do that manually. There's a single into right field by Lamont Wade. 2 for 2. 2 hits for him. He's got 2 of the 4 hits. Houston Methodist Church is doing yoga. That's interesting. No comment. Runner on first, no outs. Lamont Wade Jr. is on first. Kevin Newman at the plate. He fouls off that first pitch for strike 1. Is he a new man? He looks like the same old man that was up there before. Newman. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Good pitch from Gusto. The stinker. 0-2. Old Dog says Hummel and Guillorme need to get a hit. Yeah, man. Get them on the bandwagon. If they don't get a hit off this pitcher, something going on there. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Ooh, that barely missed the bottom of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fruit Juice has a comment there. I'll take a look at it in just a moment. Here's the pitch. Ooh, strike 3. Upper outer corner. He didn't like it too much, but it was close. You know what I always say, if you got 2 strikes and it's anywhere near the zone, you gots to swing. You can't take a pitch like that when you got 2 strikes. Look at that. That was not a bad pitch. Out number 1, another K for Gusto. Christian Moore at the plate. Pitch in the bottom of the zone. Call a ball. Man, that was close. One and 0 with a runner on first and 1 out. Here's the pitch to Moore. Woo, kind of fooled him there. He thought it was going to hit him, but it came back in. Didn't come back in far enough, though. Ball 2. Fruit Juice says no bandwagon jumping. It's okay to be fairly critical. It's their job. We have high expectations. As long as it isn't angry criticism, it's fair game. Yeah, it's okay to offer constructive criticism. But there's a big difference, a mountain of difference between constructive criticism and just negative comments. If people have some constructive criticism, I'm happy to hear it. By the way, it's 3-0 to Moore. That next pitch is on the outside edge, just barely gets the strike. 3-1. But just saying, oh, the Astros are so bad, they always do this. You know, they're going to lose the game. They get down 2-0. It's like the end of the world. Oh, they're going to do this again. Blah, 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 blah. That doesn't offer anything constructive. It's useless. Moore hits it out to shallow center, and Myers is not going to be able to get there. That's another base hit. Runners on first and second with one out. At least we still have the double play ball. We have two options for double play. Maybe three options. Third to second, third to first, second to first. Gusto, take your pick. And by the way, Fruit Juice, I wasn't saying that you were doing that. What I was saying about being constructive, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about in general. Some people are just blurting out negativity with no constructive comments added. Wow, look at that. Line drive caught by Christian Walker. He's not able to get to first base fast enough. A little too far away. But that's out number 2. Look at this catch. Boom. Right to him. Stuff like that, Christian Walker has no problem with. If that had been a ground ball and he had to quickly throw it to second for a double play and then get back to first base, that's the kind of stuff that he struggles with. Too much thinking and quick movements needed. Starts to get a little flustered. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 94 miles an hour. Shawnuel is at the plate. Four-seam fastball scoots by. 0-1 with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Crispy asks, do you think the Astros will make a trade before the deadline? I certainly hope so. This is hit hard out to right field all the way out to the wall. It might be gone. It is. The Angels get the lead back 5-4 just like that. What a fun game this is. Man, the Astros and the Angels just trading the lead back and forth. A 3-run shot right there. 7 hits? Is that right? The 7th hit? That's 8 hits for the Astros. 7 hits for the Angels. The Astros commentator said that was crushed, but that was not crushed. It was just barely over the fence out in right field. He didn't pummel it. It's like 10 feet over the fence in right field. It's not a crush. It's like a gimme. Next batter is Mike Trout. Trout takes that pitch just a little inside for ball 1. This is a fun game suddenly. I'm enjoying this game. There's stuff going on. There's stuff happening. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Just a little outside, ball 2. Sweet Richard says yank him. I don't know. It's a little early to be yanking him. Here's the pitch. This is hit foul for strike 1. Goes backwards into the crowd. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 to Trout. Inside for ball 3. Well, the thing is, the Astros really kind of right now where they're at, they don't desperately need anybody. So they could get a good deal on someone. They could. So I wish they would bring in somebody. This one's hit way up in the air. Mike Trout hits it over to the first base side. At the last minute, Walker has to make a lunge for it. I guess he lost it there for a minute in the sun. But that is out number 3. Unfortunately, a 3-run shot puts the Angels back ahead of the Astros 5-4. But no big deal. Jeremy Pena. No, I'm sorry. The information on the screen was incorrect. Cooper Hummel is due up, followed by Mauricio Dubon and Luis Guillorme. Dubon had a homer earlier. Hummer is a homer. I keep calling him Hummer. He is over 2. Hopefully he can turn it around right here. So far with the Astros, Hummel is batting 143. Still waiting for him to show us what he can do. It sure would be nice to have another good left-handed bat. It sure would be nice. Yeah, old dog, you're right. Gusto just had 2 pitches, and if you notice, those pitches didn't get out by much. One was pulled to that left wall, barely got over. The one to right field was pulled, got over by about 10 feet. Man. Yeah, the guy, some of these rookie pitchers that we pulled in are pulling their weight considering what they've been asked to do. So, we can't expect them to pitch like Brown and Valdez and like Arrighetti was doing, or Blanco, or even like McCullers. I know that McCullers has had some struggles, but he has improved significantly since his first inning implosion a while back. Hendricks is still in the game, though. Hummel takes that first pitch a little high, ball 1. So the Astros have another chance to light up Hendricks. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Hummel. Just a little high, ball 2. 67 pitches now for Hummel. For Hendricks. There's the 2-0 to Hummel. Too far inside, ball 3. Good takes. If you can't hit the ball, might as well try to get a walk, right? Here comes the next pitch. Outside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk. Hey! Good job, Hummel. Only 2 of those pitches were close to the zone. Wow, they're going to pull him out right after that. They let him come out there, throw 4 balls to Hummel, and immediately pull him out. That's got to be a confidence booster. That would annoy the mess out of me. Coach, I told you I'm feeling all right. Yeah, I told you I'd give you a chance. It's just one batter. It's one batter, but you threw 4 straight balls. Yeah, but 2 of those were right there. Right on the edge. Almost is only good enough in horseshoes and hand grenades. You know that. You know I always say that. By the way, I'm telling you exactly what the pitching coach, the manager, and the pitcher are saying to each other. This is definitely what they're saying. Yes, the Mariners demolished the Cubs. I can't stand the Cubs. I can tolerate playing poorly against the Athletics and the A's. I can tolerate it, even though they're not good teams. But I absolutely must have destruction of the Cubs and the Dodgers. These are my 2 teams that I must have the Astros destroy. While the pitcher is warming up, let's take a look at the live chat to see if there's anything going on. Hey, Mark, welcome back. Good to see you. Willard says, unless we get another ace, we're screwed. I don't know what you're talking about. The Astros are in the top 2 in the MLB for ERA or opposing team batting average. We're in the top 2. Are you guys jumping off the bandwagon so easily, or jumping off the train rather? Just because we have a couple little hiccups. Can't be great all the time. Doobie's at the plate. First pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. That's strike one. We have one runner on. There was a 4-pitch walk to lead it off. Cooper Hummel is on first. Dubon is at the plate with an 0-1 count. New pitcher on the mound for the Angels. Low and outside for ball 1, 1-1. Let's see here. What's the name of the pitcher? Hunter? No. Yeah, Hunter Strickland. Okay. Strickland Propane is on the mound. Little low and outside, just barely misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sweet Richard says, why do you hate the Cubs? I don't hate the Cubs. I just really don't like them. I don't hate anything. Dubon hits it out to left field. Does he have him another home run? Is it gone? Yes, it is. Check that out. Mauricio Dubon back-to-back jacks. The Astros take the lead back. We are playing musical chairs with the lead in this game right now. 6-5. How about that, man? Mauricio Dubon. How awesome has he been over the past week? Holy freaking cow. Speaking of that, he could do the Harry Carey. Holy cow! For those of you who know Harry Carey from back in the day, the Cubs announcer. That brings up Chef Gourmet with no outs. He taps that one into left field. Isn't it hilarious that Mauricio Dubon came to the plate? They bring in a reliever, and Dubon hits a home run off him. He has a home run off the starter, and now he has a home run off the first reliever. I love it. Next pitch to Gourmet is fouled off for strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Yep, Dubon is definitely a big part of the offense right now, that's for sure. That's for sure. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Gourmet. High and outside, ball 1. Ayu says, I feel like we haven't had a game that's high scoring for both teams. Is either we blow out another team or we get supersized. You never know. A little high and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh yeah, by the way, this reliever for the Angels, he doesn't have any charged earned runs so far this season. Those are the first 2. So congratulations to Doobie. Gourmet lines it into right field for another base hit. The Astros keep it going. We have another runner on first with no outs. All right, Gourmet, join the hit party, the hit parade. The Astros are now into double digits with hits. That's number 10. Jake Myers comes to the plate, who is on fire, who's tearing it up right now. Yeah, Mark Spencer was pretty solid. He still has some kinks to work out, but I really liked him. He was headed the right direction. Ayush, I think if we're talking about bad batters that the Astros have had recently, Jacob Melton is number 1. Gourmet hasn't had a chance to really prove himself yet. Swing and a miss by Pena. 0-1 is the count. The slider slipping right past his bat. This is a guy that has enough power to hit another home run himself. He's already got 1 today. How about cranking out another one right here? Here comes the 2-2, or 1-0-1 rather. Why did I say 2-2? What am I looking at? What am I looking at on the screen? Fouled off by Pena. 0-2 is the count. Here's the next pitch from Strickland. Line drive all the way out to the fence in left field. That's going to be down for a double easy. Guillorme can easily score. They're booking him around. He's got a little weight on him, but he's going to make it in. Whoa, look at that. Look at that play at the plate. He barely got in there, diving in head first. Took out the catcher. I don't want to get hit by that guy. That's like getting hit by Santa Claus. I don't want to get hit by him. That was a rip by Pena all the way out to the wall. I thought that Guillorme would be able to walk in, but I forgot. Oh, yeah, he's a little hefty. But look at him take out the catcher. He's like, go, go, go. Breathe. Come on. Go, go, go. And then boom. All right. Hey, Pena went over to third base because of that throw, went past the catcher. How about that? He has himself a double, but he was able to advance. No outs, guys. No outs. 7-5 Astros. Runner on third. They got a little break on the mound right now, having a little chit-chat about the nonsense that's going on. 11 hits for the Astros. This is the game you were talking about before, right? You never see a game like this, Ayush? You never see a game where we both score a lot of runs? Well, here you go. This is your game. 12 runs for each team combined. Here's the pitch from Myers. Right in there, 92 miles an hour. 2 hits for Myers this game. Pena on third, no outs. Here's the next toss. Myers hits it out to right field. It's going to be deep enough to score Pena easily. He'll tag and jog home. How about that? 8-5. Good job. Jake Myers with the sacrifice fly. 2 hits and a sacrifice for him today. All right. Go Stros. The crowd is booing. That must mean my hero is coming to the plate. Come on, Altuve. It's home run time. Time to shut up this crowd. First pitch is low and outside. I'm trying to adjust something on my screen right now. 1 ball, no strikes to Altuve. Does MLB test for weed? I guess so. Too far inside. Altuve had to jump out of the way. Astros don't have anybody warming up in the bullpen. So Gusto will be coming back out for the Astros again. Way outside and bounces to the backstop. Ball 3. Look at them trying to cool down Guillorme. that dude is so big. He was huffing and puffing to run all the way around from first like that. Here comes the next pitch to Altuve. Way outside, ball 4. Altuve's on with a walk. 1 out, base runner. 5 walks against the Angels in this series. He was striking out like crazy last series, and now he's walking like crazy. Hey, the view count has gone up. We've got about 41 people following right now. Thank you for being here. The game started off a little slow, a little difficult, but this has been a very interesting game, guys. I've enjoyed it. It's 6:38 here in the morning. Can't tell by looking through the window there. It's so dark outside from the rain. 1 ball, no strikes to Cam Smith. Come on, Cam, crank it up. Let's keep it going. Right in there for strike 1. 1-1. Yeah, I don't remember a back and forth game like this. It's been a while. Usually if the Astros have a lead, or rather like they get the lead towards the end of the game, maybe they get the lead and then the other team takes it back and then wins, right? But back and forth like this, I don't remember the last time I saw a game like this. Foul ball for Cam Smith. Altuve's still in second, but the pitch wasn't going, so they're going to tag him out easy. That's out number 2. Strickland wasn't even near delivering that pitch. He got mixed up somehow. He started running way too early. Yeah, bad base running there. What are you doing, Jose? No way, Jose. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch to Cam. He fouls it off down the right side. Count remains 1-2. Fred says, LSU about to win the College World Series. Sounds great. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Cam fouls that one off again. Count remains 1-2. Strickland, the reliever, has now thrown 23 pitches. Yeah, Altuve is not always. I mean, sometimes he's really savvy. He makes some really cool decisions on the base pads that turns out well, and sometimes it just burns him. It's like his batting style. It's either going to be amazing or you'll just shake your head, and kind of put your head down like face palm. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cam. Fouls it off again. He's really making Strickland work here. I'll tell you what. Excuse me. Yeah, you're right, Mark. John Singleton got in trouble for weed. Pitch clock violation. They're saying that Strickland keeps violating the pitch clock, but they're not calling it. And finally, Cam Smith said something to the umpire, and then he calls it. Negligence. There's a walk. There we go. So with a pitch clock violation and then a bad pitch, Cam Smith is able to walk, go to first base. Now the Angels are going to have another guy start warming up in the bullpen as Christian Walker comes to the plate. Let's see here. .638. I thought you lived. No, I don't live in Houston. I live in Japan, man. Walker swings at that one in the dirt. Strike 1. I am in the countryside of Hiroshima, Japan. Look at my house back here. You think these old wooden sliding doors and this wooden frame house, you think this is an American style house? No way. You're not going to find anything like this in Houston. That is in there for strike 2. 0-2 versus Walker. Cam Smith on first base with 2 outs. I've been living in Japan now for about 5.5 years. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'm not going to tell Altuve to stop trying to steal. Why would I do that? I would just say, pay more attention. That's all I would say. Swing and a miss by Walker. Strikes out. But some big swings. Another great inning. 2 4-run innings by the Astros. How about that? 8-5. They lead this game. Gusto getting really lucky-o with these big hits-o 11 hits for the Astros. 11. 6 for the Angels. 8-5, they lead it going into the bottom of the 6th. I need a cough. All right. Right now it's about 6:45 in the morning. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Caesar says I couldn't find your live chat until now. Really? That's odd. King Tuck says I know Altuve's your guy, but he's got to stop trying to steal. I completely disagree. I just think that he needs to be a little more careful when he steals. That was just a terrible attempt. But that's the thing. Sometimes Altuve makes a decision, and it's like, holy cow, I can't believe that worked. Altuve is amazing. And then the very next time he's out on the field, it's like, holy cow, I can't believe he did that. That was very bad. Altuve is feast or famine. That's even the way he bats, guys. Maybe even the way he does defense. That's just who he is. So I'm not going to knock him for that. I'm just going to say be careful. That's all. Just pay attention. Be careful. Do your best. There's no reason to tell him to stop stealing. He's not slow. Gusto's back on the mound facing Taylor Ward. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. This is hit out into center field. Myers is underneath it, puts it away for out number 1. 2 pitches, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Ryu says, I kind of miss John. He would be a good 9-hole hitter. If we had John Singleton at first base instead of Christian Walker, we would have had a much better season so far, even if he's only hitting .250. Probably have more home runs. He's got a good glove at first. Wouldn't be missing anything there. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul. Oh, Hoppy's at the plate. He has a home run. Magnum PI in the bullpen warming up. Brian King. Hopefully he doesn't have to come in into the 7th. Swing and a miss. Good toss there by Gusto. Up and in. 0-2 is the count. Crispy says, I recently had Japanese food for the first time and love it. What kind of Japanese food did you have? There are many different kinds. This is hit foul. Out of play on the first base side. The count remains 0-2. Ayuz says, are you originally from Houston? When I was born, I was actually born in Louisiana. And when I was a baby, hey, swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice strikeout by Gusto, and that's out number 2. Joe Adell coming to the plate in just a moment. I was born in North Louisiana, in Shreveport, actually. That's not far from where my dad's hometown is. And when I was still a baby, my family moved us to Houston so my dad could work at Armco Steel. Here's the pitch. Adele swings and misses. Strike 1. But anyway, my mom and her family are all from the Houston area. So I spent about 7 years growing up as a little kid in Houston. Lived in Wood Forest. 1 ball, 1 strike to Joe Adell. While I was in Houston, I saw some games in the Astrodome. Always against the Dodgers and the Cubs because those are my brother and sister's favorite teams. This is hit way up in the air. Caratini's underneath it. Wow, he has a little trouble with it, but he puts it away. And runs into Gusto. There we go. Good inning for Gusto. 3 up and 3 down, no problem in the 6th. Looks like Gusto's going to get himself a win. Fingers crossed. In the 7th inning, I would imagine that we're going to see Brian King And then in the 8th, Brian Abreu. And then in the 9th, Josh Hader. That's my guess. That's my guess. That's my guess. Let's go back to the live chat and see if we can get caught up on what's going on over here. Let's see. Do you guys? Does anybody in the chat happen to know North Shore Elementary School? If you do, can you tell me if it's still open? That's actually where I went to elementary school. We lived not far from there. Well, whenever Armco started laying everybody off, Mark, my dad was a welder, and he was one of those guys to go. And that's why we moved back to Louisiana. He went to work at a steel factory in Mansfield, Louisiana, and that one shut down too. And then my family just started moving around everywhere, working shutdowns. My dad never adapted to that really well, and our family began to struggle. We were living the typical American dream life, really nice middle class with the factory job that my dad thought was going to last forever, and my mom was a nurse, and she didn't really have to work because my dad was making good money at Armco Steel. And then suddenly all of that just went in the dumper, and my family fell apart. My mom started having, she already had pre-existing mental issues, but unfortunately they just amplified, and my family started arguing and yelling every day. I don't want to sound negative. It just happened. Okay, I'm at peace with it. Caratini is at the plate. He hits it into left field on the very first pitch. Flies out. Unfortunately, no home run for him for that at bat, but he'll probably, maybe he'll bat again in the 9th. We'll see. He'll have another chance, maybe. Connor Brogdon. What kind of a name is Brogdon? It's like a strange version of my name. Brandon Brogdon? Brogdon! But this is a family name. Hummel's at the plate, takes the first pitch for strike 1. Let me type this guy's name in here. Connor. I want to type Connor McLeod. Brogdon. Here's the next pitch. That one's low and outside for ball 1. 1-1. Hummel is 0 for 2 today. He has yet to join the Astros hit party. He fouls that one off at the plate. He's trying. He got the invitation. He's trying to RSVP, but he's having problems making the connection. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 away, nobody on. Gusto might be able to go 8 innings, says Ayush. No, he'll be out in the next inning. Brian King will be out. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Gourmet just flew out. If I muted it, it's because I had to cough. Sorry about that. Just to save you guys' ears, I mute it so I can cough. 1 second. But on the screen, the button that I have to click to mute and unmute is very tiny. And it's easy to miss. Rather hear you sneeze than muted. I'm missing all the interesting stuff. Well, it's not the sneezes right now. Right now I've got a cough, and I think a lot of it has to do with the weather. The damp weather. It's the 7th inning stretch. Astros up 8-5 over the Angels. I'll be right back. I'm going to go in here and grab something. I think I'm going to get one more fresh cup of coffee, and I'll be right back. Go Astros. Four runs in the 5th, 4 runs in the 6th for the his Houston is Astros. As Astros. Magnum PI is indeed on the mound for the Astros. Mark says, was going to say you're going to turn on next cough. That would be terrible for you guys. I forget to. I think it's turning it off, but it's actually turning it on, then I cough really loud. That'd be terrible, because it is loud. I try to get out of the way with one big cough. Just like that one. Rafael Devers does have a home run against the Red Sox in the last 2 games, so that's kind of cool. Only 1 for 9, but it's nice to hit a home run against them. Right in the zone, swing and a miss. The very first pitch from Magnum PI, and I need to update that on the screen, actually. There we go. High and outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lamont Wade Jr. Wade Jr. actually 2 for 2 today. Outside, 79 miles an hour on the Swiffer. Brian King moves much faster than Gusto. Got to adjust my calling speed. 80 miles an hour right in the zone. Fouled off for strike 2. 2-2 is the count. Houston to Hiroshima, we have a problem. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Junior goes after that one, fouls it off again. The count remains 2-2. King Tuck says players tend to find batting ninth insulting. Well, you know, every person in the lineup nowadays, they're all supposed to be hitters, right? We have the DH now. High, ball 3, full count. The fastball missing. We don't have the pitcher batting anymore like they still have here in Japan. The pitchers actually hit here in Japan. Wade Jr., did you see that? He draws the walk, but when he went to flip the bat, he went to throw the bat, and he flipped it up in the air. Fail. It was worth walking him just to see that nonsense. Oof. I think I let a bug in here. It just landed on my face. Kevin Newman at the plate. First pitch on that outside edge. Strike one. Good call, ump. This ump has been pretty good. I can't complain. He hasn't thrown anything that's egregious, or he hasn't called anything that's egregious. Next pitch from King is on the way. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball. Could be a double play. Pena to Altuve. Altuve to first. It's high. He's safe. Bad throw by Altuve. But it looks like he could have had that beat anyway. But Altuve's upset about it. Let's take another look and see how possible it was. Yeah, that was just a bad throw. Yeah, way. It came out of his hand wrong. Christian Moore at the plate. Runner on first and one out. That's in there for strike one. Man, Altuve, I think they just need to keep him on second so he's not all messed up in the head. Just leave him on second. Don't put him out in left field. Tired of seeing him out in left field. Low and inside for ball one. The count is even to Christian Moore. Runner on first, one out, ball one, strike one. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt, check swing, ball two, 2-1. Old dog says your cap and shirt match. Yeah, they sure do. I got this in Kagoshima, Japan, and I got this right here in Saijo, East Hiroshima. So got lucky. Two different cities, but they match. You're right. Thank you. Fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. How do I feel about Ohtani? I don't have a problem with Ohtani except that he plays for the Dodgers, so forget him. I really can't stand the Dodgers. So I wish Ohtani nothing but the worst while he plays for the Dodgers. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. High fastball. 93 miles an hour. Climbing the stairs there. Elevator goes to the top floor, and Brian King gets the strikeout. 2 away. Runner on first. Luis Ringafo comes to the plate. Hail to the King. He is a great player, but he plays for the Dodgers, so I want him to do terribly. Terribly. I want him to play terribly bad. Terribly bad. Ringafo fouls that pitch off. The count is 0-1. Am I the only Astros fan in Japan? I doubt that. You know, there are several military bases here. I bet you some of those guys are Astros fans. Here's the pitch. Fouled away. 0-2. 2 foul balls by Ringafo. Neto. We're gonna be talking about that guy for a while. Neto. That guy is something else. Here comes the next pitch from King. In the dirt. Ball 1. Good stop by Caratini. The runner cannot advance on that one. King Tuck, I'm not convinced that Ohtani isn't a gambler. I'm still not convinced. I think there was some cover-up going on there because there were a lot of things that happened that just did not make sense. Here's the next pitch. Hit out to left field. That's going to be down for a little golf hit. Hummel brings it into third. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Come on, King. Shut it down. Don't let it get out of hand, buddy. Who's on deck? Sean Noel? Yeah, this is the top of the batting order. Sean Noel did have a home run his last at bat. Caratini's going to have a little chit-chat on the mound with Magnum P.I. Hey, man, where do you want to go for dinner after this? I don't know where you want to go. I don't know. Just talking about food. Who cares about Sean Noel? Just talk about food. Crispy says easy double play, but we make it hard. Yep, could have been easy. Could have been. Ayu says, do you speak Japanese? はい。今、上手じゃありません。少しわかります。去年、日本語を勉強しました。でも、今、ままです。Fouled off by Shanuel. Basically, I said right now my Japanese is not good yet, but last year I studied Japanese. Kyonin. Last year. 日本語を勉強しました. I studied Japanese. Here's the pitch in the dirt. 1-1. Do you guys know how to say baseball in Japanese? Yakyu. Yakyu. Here's the pitch. Ooh, try to check. He went around. That's a strike. Another up high strike. Up high fastball. Beautiful upstairs. Just keep throwing that upstairs heater. Look at this. He's like, oh noes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 22nd pitch of the game coming up for Brian King in just a moment. Come on, King, get that strikeout. 1-2 pitch on the way. Ground ball. It's going to get through. Is it going to score a run? Here comes the throw. Hummel's going to throw it. It's not there in time. He's safe. 8-6. Opposite field hit by Shanuel. My favorite reliever, letting me down a little bit. Just a little tapper. Hummel couldn't bring it in fast enough. He doesn't have a really strong arm. It was not a bad throw. Just a little too late. Espada says that's enough, though. But you know, that is a lot of pitches for Brian King in 1 inning. He doesn't usually have that long of an outing. It looks like they're going to go ahead and bring in Brian Abreu to finish off the inning. I guess if he gets this first batter, we'll see him again in the 8th. That's my guess. That's my guess. My man lets me down a little bit. I really do like Brian King, but that kind of got away from him a little bit. Mike Trout is at the plate in just a moment. We'll wait for Abreu to get warmed up. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, you're right, old dog. The home runs, the RBIs, and the average are starting to work. I got those fixed. I got everything else fixed. Everything else is fixed on the API. It's just the base runners. I don't know what it is about the base runners, but ChatGPT did tell me that it's possible I might have to pull that info from a different source because it's not pulling properly, maybe, from the MLB site. So we'll give it a try. I'll keep working on it until I get it fixed. Ayu says, do most people in Japan speak English for the most part? No, absolutely not. Some people do, and I would say a lot of Japanese have a little ability to speak some basic, like very basic English, but for communication, basic communication, most Japanese cannot. So you really need to be able to speak Nihongo. And for those of you who don't know what Nihongo is, that's how you say Japanese in Japanese. Nihongo. By the way, if you want to say Japan in Japanese, it's Nihon or Nippon. Nihon or Nippon. So Nihon, and then you add go. Go means language. So Nihongo, Japan language, Japanese. Trout is at the plate, takes the very first pitch from Abreu right in there for strike 1. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Next pitch, right in there. 2 straight strikes from Abreu. Abreu not wasting any time. Trout with 2 strikeouts and a fly out today. Come on, Abreu. Shut this down. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Go fishing. Gone fishing. There we go. Strike three. Three straight pitches to Mike Trout. How about that? Abreu comes in and he shows him what's up. That's right. That is right. You eat it. Abreu cooking up some fish. Man, the Astros have been owning Mike Trout this series, yesterday and today. Even though, now that is something to, I guess you could say that Brandon Walters could hang his hat on. He could say, yeah, I gave up a lot of runs yesterday, but you know what? I destroyed Mike Trout. I cooked him. I cooked up some fish yesterday, and that's all that matters. It's the same story again today. Trout is just getting cooked up like crazy. Yeah, and by the way, if you say go in Japanese, it means language. So, for example, eigo, that's English. That means English language, English. Nihongo, Japanese. Chugoku means China. But if you say Chugokugo, it means Chinese. Pretty easy, right? Easy peasy, Japanesey. Bullpen has been a little shaky recently, but it's all right. Abreu looks pretty hot. Maybe he'll come back out in the 8th inning and do the same thing again. You know what, Mark? I have some really I've always wondered, why do baseball players and so many athletes get these really nice huge contracts? They could literally just not care anymore. They could just start playing like just not trying so hard. Now that they got the money, they don't have to try. They could do that. And some of them do. Not all of them, but some of them do. Pena's at the plate, takes that first pitch for a strike. Connor Brogdon is still in, it looks like. 11 hits for the Astros, 8 hits for the Angels here in the top of the 8th. 8-6 Astros up by 2. Let's see if we can add some more insurance runs. It looks like we're going to need them. Here's the pitch. Pena fouls it off. 0-2. King and Abreu has not been at their greatest lately. Abreu had a couple of iffy games, and King had one bad game. Pena fouls this one into the first base side. Shanoa puts it away for out number 1. King had a rough inning just now, but we got out of it with just 1 run given up. Not a big deal. Big man Jake Myers comes to the plate with 1 out. Last year he had 11 steals. This year he already has 13. He had 2 today. How about that? Myers swings after that first one. Fouls it off. Score Astros. Yes, they need another score. Myers fouls that one off. Strike 2. 0-2. I went in there and I got my coffee grounds. I got my filters. I've got my hot water, but I haven't made anything. I'm just sitting here. Just sitting here relaxing. Charles says, Go Stros. The Mariners cooked up some fish today also. The Rays, is that who they played? Just my guess. I can't remember. First ball to Myers. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's go, Myers. Here's the 1-2. Check swing. A little high and inside. Ball 2. 51 people. Wow. You know, the view count suddenly went up. And I was like, wow. I can't believe you coming to me like that. I like it. Full count. One away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 21 pitches now for Brogdon. A little inside. Oh, no! That was way inside. No less than 2 inches off the plate. They're showing a comparison of Mike Trout and Altuve. Because they started playing around the same time. Altuve's numbers actually are so much better than Mike Trout. That next pitch is in the bottom of the zone for strike 1. 1-1 to Altuve. 2 outs, nobody on. Yeah, I'm starting to get sleepy. Altuve fouls this one off at the plate. Count remains... No, it's not at 1-2 already. It's just now 1-2. My bad. I told you I was sleepy. I'm starting to feel it right now. It's about 7:17 in the morning. I went to bed around 11, woke up at about 1:30. Wasn't able to go back to sleep. So I've been up now for almost 6 hours. Here's the next pitch. Way high, 95 mile per hour pitch. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Altuve hits it over to the left side. That's going to be hard for them to play. He's safe at first base. Another infield hit by Altuve. How about that? 21 infield hits for Altuve this season. He's leading the American League with infield hits. We got ourselves a Naruto. That's our Naruto. He runs like Naruto. Put the arms back. Looks like the Angels might be challenging it. They are going to challenge it. They're going to take a look at it. Let's take a look. They're going to call him out. They're going to turn that over. That's unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like they just got him. Yeah, that's going to end the inning. That's going to be out number 3. Colin feels overturned. Altuve's out. Unfortunately, he does not get the infield hit. He's still leading the American League in infield hits, though, so it's no big deal. He's got that going on. We go into the bottom of the 8th. The Astros up 8-6. 11 hits to the Angels 8. I would imagine Brian Abreu is going to be back out. He pitched just 3 pitches to Trout to get the strikeout. And the next batter is Taylor Ward. And with that, I'm going to try to quickly make myself a small, fresh cup of coffee. Because I am in need of a nice, hot, fresh cup. And I'm a little sleepy, you know what I mean? A little sleepy. $49 people watching. Yeah, it kind of cranked up there, didn't it? I'm surprised. I thought this game was going to stay down low. We started off really slow tonight, guys. For a while, we had less than 10 viewers, and we didn't go beyond 15, I think, for a while. I was kind of surprised. Channel usually doesn't hang around 15 for very long. But I guess after yesterday, a lot of people got deflated. I understand that. Jake Myers earned the walk, says Crispy, but the umpire stole it from him on that bad call. Yeah, I mean, overall the umpire hasn't been bad this game, especially like yesterday, and then that game the other day when Hunter Brown pitched. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that one. I'm definitely not in on the NBA finals. Don't care about the NBA anymore. All right. Abreu's on the mound facing Taylor Ward. Low and outside. Ball one. Astros nursing a 2-run lead. This game has been back and forth. Let's see if they can hang on to it here in the bottom of the 8th. That's on the outside edge. Strike one. Nice toss. Beautiful slider. It was a beautiful slider. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Here comes the 1-1. Ground ball to shortstop. Pena scoops it up. No, that's Dubon. That's right, I forgot. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't look like Pena. Oh, yeah, that's right. Pena is DHing today. Dubon is at shortstop. Anyway, Dubon makes the play. Doobie heads over to first. One away. Logan O'Hoppe at the plate. Let's make him O-strikey. That's a strike. 87-mile-per-hour slider. One home run today and a strikeout. High and outside. The 96-mile-per-hour fastball just missing. 1-1. Yes, please no extra innings today. I'm too sleepy for that. Can't handle it. Here comes a 1-1 from Abreu. Ooh, nice slider. Swing and a miss. That one was beautiful. Talk about some action. Put some action on that ball. Nice action, Abreu. Here comes a 1-2. Another swing. Oh, Hoppy just couldn't help but swingy. You know what that means? You know what that means? Tommy likey. Tommy wants swingy. Boom. Tagged him out on the butt. 2 outs. Adele is at the plate. First pitch in there, strike one. 87 mph on the slider. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Look at that. Holy cow. 0-2 with 2 outs. As Abreu rubs the ball up, gives it some love. Hey, Jordan, you made it in. Thanks for the like. Here's the pitch. That's hit hard to left center field. Long run for Jake Myers. He doesn't get it. He almost gets there. That's going to be a double for Adele. Man, on an 0-2. Myers rushed out there. Just couldn't quite get to it. Look how close this was. I think Jake Myers just didn't know where the wall was. But he was getting out there as quick as he could. Just fell in the right spot. Got lucky. That brings up Lamont Wade Jr. 2 outs, runner on second. Here's the pitch. Way up high and outside. Ball one. And my coffee is ready. And I didn't get any creamer. Oh, man. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 96-mile-per-hour fastball. The count is even, 1-1. Logan not Hoppy. 9 hits for the Angels now. Here's the next pitch, the 1-1. Ooh, 98. Upstairs, strike 2. Nice heater. I think that's what got Brian King into trouble, is that he didn't keep his heater upstairs. It was working for him. It was his other pitches that got him bit. Here's the pitch. Just a little high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sergio says, I was surprised to find out that Mauricio Dubon is 6 feet tall. I thought he was about 5'9". He doesn't look very big, right? He looks kind of scrawny. Caratini's going to have a little meeting with Abreu. Lamont Wade Jr. at the plate with a 2-ball, 2-strike count and 2 outs for the runner on second. 2-2-2-2. Whew, excuse me. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. This is good. Yes. Mark says Sun may have gotten Myers. It's possible that had something to do with it also. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Brian Abreu with the strikeout, guys. Nice pitch. Good job, Abreu. Abreu comes in the 7th inning with runners on, facing Mike Trout, gets the 3-pitch strikeout, comes back in the game for the 8th inning, gives up a double, but shuts everybody else down, gives up no runs. That's what I'm talking about. Astros continue to lead this game by 2 runs, 8-6, and we have another opportunity to get some more runs. Crank it up. Cam Smith is due up. He's 1 for 3 today, followed by Christian Walker and Victor Caratini. Every one of these guys has a hit today. Most every Astro has a hit. Here's a quick quiz question. Which Astro does not have a hit? All of the Astros have a hit today except for one guy. Who can be the first to type it in the chat? Who's the first to say who doesn't have a hit today? I wonder who will get it first. I think it's a pretty easy guess. Even if you don't know, you can guess and get it, I think. Jordan says, if we win, I will go back to the 4th inning and watch again. Yeah, watch the 4th through the 7th. If it stays like it is now, you can watch the 4th through the 7th. That's all you need. Crispy, you're right. It's Hummel. Jordan, Paredes is not in the game today, actually. New pitcher. Brock Burke. A left-hander. First pitch to Cam Smith. Woo! That was close. A little high, but strike 1. 0-1 is the count. But yes, Crispy, you're right. It is Hummel. He doesn't have a single hit today. Here comes the pitch. Cam Smith with a line straight to the shortstop. 1 away. Seems like he got that on the end of the bat. And that brings up Christian Walker. Yes, let's finish this, Sergio, and get ready for the Phillies. Absolutely. Also looking forward to having a day off. Definitely need a break after these games, that's for sure. Here's the first pitch to Walker. Right in the zone, the upper outer corner. 96 mile per hour fastball. Jordan says, I still win. What? High. Ball 1. 1-1. Here comes the next pitch. Grounded foul down the third baseline. Strike 2 on Walker. 1-2 with 1 out. Here in the top of the ninth. It's not a very long game despite the runs scored. Hader is indeed warming up in the bullpen. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Walker. He fouls it off. Count remains 1-2. 42 likes on the channel right now on the live stream. 50 people following. Thank you for being here. We picked up one more subscriber. Whoever that is, thank you very much. If you have not subscribed and you like the Astros, please do so now. Please subscribe and do it now. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off again. We'll have ourselves another 1-2 dished up in just a moment. This game will finish before 8 o'clock in the morning. My cafe that I want to go to doesn't open till 9. Maybe I can take a nap first. Let's head out in the right field. Hey, Walker has another hit today. Soft little opposite field hit. There we go. A couple of singles for Walker today. We have ourselves a 1-out base runner. Caratini comes to the plate. He does get the opportunity to bat again. Maybe he will get that home run that you guys were talking about earlier. Come on, Batman. Let's see what you can do. Swing and a miss. 88 miles an hour on the slider. I was actually watching a movie earlier that has Ben Affleck. It's called The Accountant, or The Accountant 2. I didn't know there was a first one. But that's why I call him the Batman, is because he looks like Affleck. And Affleck played Batman. So, in case you guys haven't put that together. A swing and a foul tip. Foul off. 0-2 is the count to Victor Caratini. The umps yesterday I used were pretty bad. But today, I can't complain. They haven't been bad today. Ooh, a little far inside. Wow, that one was not very good. It was about an inch off the plate. Called strike 3. That umpire today has only missed a couple of calls, and that's one of them. But hey, Isaac Paredes. Paredes is pinch hitting for Hummel, Jordan. You said Paredes earlier. They must have heard you. Hummel hasn't gotten a single hit, so they bring in Paredes to pinch hit for him. That's funny. They were listening in that's what the Astros are doing. They've got the tablets looking at my channel, reading my live chat, seeing what we're talking about. And they're like, okay, they're right. Hummel's the only guy without a hit, and they mentioned Paredes. That's the guy. Let's bring him in. It's the Ghost Astros channel. That must be the guy we got to bring in. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I've never been so sure of anything in my life. Here's the pitch. In the top of the zone for strike 1. Christian Walker on first base with a single. 2 outs. 0-1 is the count. Paredes calls timeout. Steps out of the box. Foul off. Foul off on Tony Perez Chica. Don't hurt the poor man. Here's a pitch. He fouls it off. 0-2. Jordan says, I want to play the Mets. They've been on a losing streak ever since they crapped on our flag. Let's sweep the Mets. I don't mind sweeping any New York teams. Here's the pitch. Little outside. Close. 97 miles an hour. Hader in the dugout. Messing around out there. Mixing up some Haterade. Hey, that was a ripped into left field. That's going to be down. How about that? Walker stops at second. Mauricio Dubon comes up with another opportunity to have a 3-homer game. He doesn't have any 3-homer games in his career. 2 runners on with 2 outs. Yeah, you're right, Butterfly. 44 likes. Got 53 people following. Could have a few more. Here's the first pitch to Dubon. Low and outside, but on that corner for strike 1. 0-1. Jump in on the live chat, Altuve. Yeah, that's right. Please. Swing and a miss. He hacked at it. 89-mile-per-hour pitch right in the zone. 0-2. Misses the changeup. Jordan says, I'm just now realizing that Ben Affleck is the accountant. Really? That's in the dirt for ball 1. 1-2. Jordan, I'm trying to figure out, the guy that plays his brother in the movie, is that the guy that plays the Punisher? I think it is. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2-2. The changeup missing. Three-homer day. Let's go, Dubon. Come on, Doobie. He fouls it off on the right side. Count remains 2-2. That was a 98-mile-per-hour pitch. Astros actually have a second reliever now warming up in the bullpen. I guess they want to save Hader in case Doobie cranks one out. Maybe that's a good idea. Oh, no. I was about to say maybe that's a good sign. But Doobie just struck out, so it doesn't matter. We're going to see Hader for sure. Haterade is coming up. Well, they are about to serve some Haterade. I hope it is delicious for the Stros and bitter. Pure bitter. It's salty for the fallen angels. Astros with 13 hits this game and 8 runs. 9 hits so far for the Angels and 6 runs. We go into the bottom of the 9th. The Astros are 3 outs away from taking this game and the series from the Angels. Yeah, Crispy Hummel didn't get a hit today. But the funny thing is, they brought in Paredes to pinch hit for him, and he got a hit. So, that's got to make Hummel feel bad, right? That sucks. Sergio's all in on Bryce Matthews. He deserves a look. I've heard some good stuff about Matthews. I'm willing to give him a try. I'm okay with it. Bring him in. Why not? Jordan says, I haven't seen any of the movies, but his brother looks familiar from the Punisher reviews, now that you mention it. Yeah, the Punisher TV show, right? But I haven't seen the Punisher TV show in a really long time, so I wasn't sure. Let's see. The Punisher TV series. That's got to be the guy. That's got to be him. John Bernthal is his name, right? Yeah, that's got to be him. Yes, it is. Yeah, I was right. It's him. John Bernthal. Yeah, he's in The Accountant. Or at least the second one. I don't know if it... I didn't realize that there were 2 movies. I just happened to see it, and I was awake, and I decided... I haven't finished it yet. I just thought I would start watching it. And I saw he was in it. I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Hader's on the mound. First pitch comes in high and outside for ball 1. It's probably a slider. He throws a lot of sliders and sinkers, right? Interesting. Paredes does not stay in the game. That first pitch is hit really, or second pitch is hit hard out into left field. Home run. Can you believe that? Second pitch of the ninth. Hader gives up a home run to Zach Neto, of all people. Of all people, guys. Are you serious? Neto. The biggest crybaby on the Angels. Why does it have to be him? Why? Please, somebody tell me, why does it have to be this guy? 96-mile-per-hour sinker with almost no movement at all, right in the zone, and launched right out into the crowd on the left side, just about 5 rows deep. 1-run lead now, 8-7. The Astros have this one. Check swing there for strike 1 against Christian Moore. That guy right there. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Fouled off. Count is 0-2 to Moore. Man. You says if they come back, I'm done. Come on, Hader. Come on, Hader. Serve up the Haterade. 0-2 to Moore. You can do it. You can do it. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Check swing right in the bottom of the zone. That should have been a strike. Man, that was right on the bottom of the zone. He check swung, but still. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss. There we go. A half swing. He gets the strikeout. So he comes back with a really nice slider. Out number 1. Good grief. Man. 10 hits for the Angels, 13 for the Astros. Jordan says, I wouldn't mind signing Crybaby Neto. I don't know if I could stand looking at him after the things that he's done. He wouldn't get along with Brown. Swing and a miss. That ball was in the dirt. Ringifo is at the plate. The slider getting him going. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Hader. Another swing and a foul ball. 0-2. I think the Angels are just swinging the bat as hard as they can at every pitch. All Hader has to do is put it around the bat, right? 48 likes on the live stream, guys. Just 2 more to get to 50. Just 2 more to get to 50. That would be great. If you haven't liked it, please do so. Picked up another sub. Thank you so much, guys. 1,000 subs on the way. Did he go? First baseman says he went. He is out. Ringifo on the check swing strikeout. The crowd boos. Take a look at this. Woo. Yeah, he went. Good call by the first base ump. First base ump. Good call. 2 strikeouts for Hader. 2 away. That brings up Nolan Shawnell. He hits this one way up in the air, out to right center field, off the wall. That's going to be a double on the very first pitch. Shawnell almost hits it out of the park on the very first pitch. Holy freaking cow, Hader. Are you kidding me? Josh Hader just can't make it easy, right? We can't make it easy. Off the base of the wall. 2 outs, runner on second base. Hader has given up a home run and a double off the wall. Josh Miller is out on the mound. They just had a little 3-way powwow with Hader and Caratini. And Mike Trout is at the plate. The one guy we have been grilling for the past 2 games. It's time to cook up some more fish Time to cook up some more fish. Hold on, says Jesus, I need a drink. All I've got here is coffee. There comes a pitch. Right in the bottom of the zone, strike one, 84 miles an hour. That's right. Neto, the one that punished the Yankees too. Maybe. He's not a bad player. He just whines too much. In the dirt, ball one. 1-1. Runner on second. Runner on second base. 1-1 is the count to Trout. Let's go fishing. Too far inside, ball two. That was a 96 mile per hour sinker. Come on, Hater. 3 balls and 1 strike. Look at this stop by Caratini. Three balls and 1 strike to Mike Trout, who's 0 for 4 today. Here's the 3-1 pitch. In the center field, is it going to be? Yes, Myers gets it. Yes, Trout lines out to Jake Myers. How about that? It gets down to the wire, guys. Wow, we just had a spike in viewers up to 71. If you're an Astros fan, like that channel, guys. The Astros win this one. Barely. 8-7. It got down to the wire. Yes, Butterfly. Thank goodness. Goodness gracious. Walk the plank angels for sure. You scurvy dogs. You scurvy fallen angels. Kiss my grits. Hey, we just hit 50 likes. Thank you so much. If you guys are Stros fans, hook me up with a sub. We just picked up another subscriber. Thank you so much. Next stop is 1,000 subs. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Recently, we just hit 500 just a couple of days ago. Big push last month in the last 4 weeks. I think there were 128 subscribers just in the past 4 weeks. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. The Astros giving us a heart attack. Winning, but just barely. I want to take a look at the score. The scoring summary. Holy cow, there was a lot of scoring going on this game, right? Let me blow this up on the screen a little bigger so you guys can see it. Here we go. Boom. What a game. Look at all of this. Look at all the scoring. Holy freaking cow. Let me detach, move that around just a tad. There we go. Just barely fits. Okay, here we go. First 3 innings were really quiet. Gusto was having a really good game, guys, until the 4th inning. Ohapi homered to left, scoring Ward. The Angels were up 2-0. In the 5th, the Astros came right back. Dubon homered. And then Pena homered. Boom, boom. Tied it up, 2-2. In the top of the 5th, Myers scored on an error. And the Astros, just like that, went up 3-2. So they weren't down for very long. In the same inning, they came back and took the lead. Not only that, Walker doubled, scoring Smith right here. And in the 5th inning, the Astros were up 4-2. It was looking good for a moment until we got to the bottom of the 5th. Shawnell homer to right, scoring Wade and more. A 3-run shot. So the Astros were up by 2, and then suddenly they're down by 1. Just like that. 5-4 Angels. In the top of the 6th, Dubon homered again. Doobie with 2 homers. This time scoring Hummel. A homer that scored Hummel, giving the Astros the lead back 6-5. At that point, the Astros would not give up the lead again. Pena doubled to left, scoring Guillorme. And that play, if you guys can go back and watch that, it's very funny. If you can go back and watch Guillorme scoring, he was huffing, puffing all the way around. And then Cesar Salazar was fanning him with a towel. It was like watching Santa Claus run around the bases. And whenever he slid in, he knocked the catcher down. It was hilarious. Go back and look at that if you have the ability to do that. Maybe I can post that as a highlight. Santa Claus runs the bases, knocks over the catcher. That would be a good highlight. I'll think about that. 7-5 Astros in the top of the sixth. Then Myers hit a sacrifice fly to right, giving the Astros an 8-5 lead. And that's something they would desperately need, and you're going to see why in just a moment. Because in the seventh inning, Sean Noel singled to left, scoring Newman. 8-6 Angels. Bottom of the ninth, Hader scares the crap out of us by giving up a homer to Neto. 8-7. And then, I think it was Chanel hit a ball to left center off the base of the wall. A 2-out double. And then Mike Trout comes to the plate. The Astros have been grilling this fish ever since they started the series. Every pitcher has been owning Mike Trout. He came up and lined out to center field. Jake Myers caught it, put it away. The Astros win, but just barely. 8-7. What a game. Can you believe that Gusto got a win? He's the starter. The game is 8-7, and Gusto got the win. It's so ridiculous. What a ridiculous game this was. But it was a very fun game. Did you guys not enjoy this game? I thought it was a good game. It was fun. The back and forth. How often do we see that? I think it was who pointed that out earlier. Way back, one of the commenters in the chat pointed that out. Crispy? I think it was Crispy. Was it Crispy that said we don't usually see a back and forth game where the Astros take it, the other team takes it, the Astros take it back, and etc. It was a fun game. And then Gusto actually pitched 6 innings and got the win. Right up here, you see that he had 6. He gave up 6 hits. That's respectable. 5 earned runs. Too much. But he had 7 strikeouts and no walks. That's not bad. The only thing bad here for Gusto is that he had 2 really bad pitches that caused home runs, and that's where he got torched. Otherwise, not a bad game for Gusto. He just had 2 pitches that he needed to get back. Strickland gets the loss, even though he only pitched 1 inning. Hader gets the save. He's got 19. Just one more, he'll have 20 for this season. Final stats here. Angels with 1 error, 11 hits, 7 runs. Astros no errors. Could have been 1, but they took it. They didn't give it. 13 hits and 8 runs. Holy freaking cow. Now, what do we have coming up next? I believe we have the Phillies. Yes, we do. But the Astros have a break, so we have no game tomorrow. Thank goodness. I need a break. I'm always happy to have a break. I'm really looking forward to the All-Star break. That's like 4 or 5 days without games. It's going to be nice to take a break. I'm going to try to get some videos prepared before then so I can schedule them to post, and then I can just take a break. But tomorrow there's no game. In 2 days we'll start the series with Phillies. Thankfully, the Astros will be back at home in Daikin Park for this series, and the Cubs. These are the games that are really, really important. Take out the Phillies, take out the Cubs. Framber Valdez is going to be on the mound facing Ranger Suarez for game 1. That is going to be an evening game. For me, it's in the morning, though. I don't know if you guys can see it at the top. I guess you can't. I guess you can't see that. It's right up here. I can move it down. There it is. There we go. You can see that for me, it's 9:10 in the morning. So I'll start my live stream a little before 9 a.m. Japan time. Okay, before we get out of here, let's take a look at the live stream. Thank you all for the likes. We have 54 likes. Picked up a few extra subs. I'm up to 516. We are at 516. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. I think in the past 4 weeks, we've gotten to almost 135 total in just 4 weeks. That's really, really amazing. So I want to thank all of you for that. Let me see what I'm missing here in the live chat. Painful win, Crispy. You are right, 100%. Jordan says, was getting nervous there for a second. I understand. Philip, with all the drinking icons, that's hilarious. Jay says, I don't need this stress in my life. It can be difficult. You know, calling all these games and having it not affect me whenever the Astros do poorly or whenever they lose, it was a challenge for me, a big challenge for me to not let it bother me for the rest of the day, or at least a good portion of the day, because especially when you get up really early and you spend a few hours to do the game and the Astros are they're not hitting the ball and the other team is just destroying them with hitting the ball, and I'm calling the game. I'm doing the live play-by-play. I'm not just some guy sitting at home watching the game casually, right? I mean, if the Astros are losing 7-1, and you're like, screw this, you can just turn the TV off, right? But I don't do that. I've committed to being here. I've seen live streamers get up and walk away and say, that's it, guys, I can't do this. I'll see you for tomorrow's game. You know, see you later. And then they end the live stream because they can't stand getting, just sitting through a game like that. And I said, if I ever have my own channel, I will never do that. And I haven't, so. 50 likes. Yes, got to 54. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Jordan says, just added another like on my phone. Thank you. Whether it counts or not, it's okay. It's the thought that really counts. We also win the series. Yes, we do. Barely, but we win it. Neto goes back to the dugout after a homer for celebration. Team gives him gut punches and tackles him. And then they lose the game. That's the best part. Short celebration. Hey, guys, I had a home run. Yeah, we're still in it. Yeah. Oh, we lost. Tuesday's game against the Phillies, 7:10 Central Time. Thank you, Sergio, for that. Thank you for the help, as always. Butterfly says, go Stros, beat the Phillies. Absolutely. Rest up. Always fun. Yes. Please help me get the channel popping. Feel free to share it with your friends, your family, your enemies, your frenemies, aliens, whoever, illegal aliens, undocumented workers. Share it with everybody. Sergio says, thank you, Brandon. Thank you. And see you Tuesday. And Butterfly says, I've been subbed a while. Mark, thanks for the chat stream. Thank you. And I'm the real deal. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. It was challenging for me to do my channel for various reasons, primarily because of health reasons. But now I'm in a position to be able to do it. Still have challenges, but I'm thankful to be able to do it and be here with you guys and gals. So anyway, that's it for today. The only thing left to say, as usual, is go Stros. I'll see you guys for the Phillies in just 2 days in Houston. All right, until then,